6:59.
Thank you.
You made it. I made it.
Glad you made it.
That's fast. Our clock up there is fast.
Oh, go ahead. I tell. Alrighty.
Going to go ahead and call the Wednesday, September 18th meeting to order. I'd ask you to rise and stand for the pledge and the invocation being read by our city attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Heavenly Father, send down your blessing on this meeting of the City Council. Give the council members a clear sense of duty and lead them to a faithful discharge of the same. Direct them in the deliberations at this meeting so that all things may be done to thy glory of thy name and the welfare of the people of the city of Oldsmar. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you again for coming to our Wednesday meeting. Our first item on the agenda is our Citizens Open Forum, where we allow you to address the council. We only have a couple of rules. That you not address anything that's on the agenda tonight, keep it to 5 minutes or less, and state your name and address clearly for the record. Do we have anybody on this side that would like to address the council? On this side that would like to address the yeah, Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Oliver, 302 Washington, Oldsmar, and I'm here on behalf of Oldsmar Cares. I just wanted to express my thanks to the council and the city for continuing to support the efforts of Oldsmar Cares. Your endorsement and your financial contribution speaks volumes in the community. I have a few notes here that I just wanted to share to update you on some progress since I last appeared before council. In 2012, I had announced at the meeting that we had a 32% increase in visitors to Oldsmar Cares over 2011. We have more than 230 volunteers who've actually signed something that we can track. So I know that there are more out there that have not done that. Pantry visits on track this year would be 2,200. That is over last year was 1,800, and the year before that was 1,376. So each year since we've moved into the old chamber building, where we are more visible, and our volunteers are working very hard to get the word out, we have definitely increased visits. The May Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive that the post office brings all the food to us, we filled our storage unit that's donated by Oldsmar Storage, and that is empty. We are using money to purchase food to keep the pantries stocked, and so we really do appreciate that financial contribution because it makes a huge difference. Our gala, again, with city support, we get the word out. You guys help us promote that. Everything that you do is so greatly appreciated. And we look forward to continued growth and a continued relationship like we have right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else on this side? Anybody on this side that would like to address the council? Amy?
Yes, good evening. Amy Reddig, 501 Brooker Creek Boulevard in Oldsmar at Nielsen. And I am very pleased to be here tonight in front of all of you. As 10 years ago, we were here, October 1st of 2003, with a grand opening, and some of you were here, I should say over at 501 Brooker Creek Boulevard, to welcome us into the community. And 10 years later, we're here to say thank you for all the support that we've gotten from the city, the council, the mayor, and of course the manager. And so at this time, I'd like to briefly just give you a couple of pieces of information that we thought you might be interested in knowing. Back on August 24th of 2013, just a month ago, a little less than that, Nielsen hit an important milestone, which was 90 years in business. And so it's kind of an exciting year for us in 2013. Not only have we been in Oldsmar for 10 years, but we've been in the great state of Florida for 45 years. So half the years that we've been in business as an organization, we've spent in the great state of Florida. And obviously opening up the Global Technology and Information Center with over 2,000 employees here, it's been an exciting 10-year run. And so next week, on September 25th, we are celebrating again. Not only are we celebrating 10 years, we are celebrating those 45 years. It's kind of an interesting number since Mr. Nielsen spent $45,000 to start his company 90 years ago. So that's some fun numbers to think about and some important celebrating, I guess, to have next week. So September 25th, we'd like to invite all of you to join us as we celebrate from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at our facility. And we want to open up our doors again to again say thank you, to tell you how much we've enjoyed the last 10, and to continue to move forward. We will be renaming our Technology and Information Center to the Global Technology and Innovation Center. And so at that time, we'll make that announcement officially, not only to you, but to our employees, that we feel that we'll be continuing onward and innovation is really where it's at. So all of that's happening right here in Oldsmar, and we wanted you to be aware of it first. So thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. 10 years.
Yeah, thank you for calling Oldsmar your home. I gave, they presented me with a nice, not really a plaque, but they presented me with the scissors that we cut the ribbon in 2003, right?
That's right, 10 years ago.
With the ribbon, with the scissors, and with a photograph of some guy that they took a photograph of. Why don't we display that? I gave it to the city clerks. Why don't we display that in the downstairs in the Historical Society?
Okay.
I think it'd be a good idea.
And that would be great. We'd appreciate that. And it's hard to believe a decade has gone by, but you're right. That ribbon cutting ceremony was very important, and that's what took place on October 1st. So it's all taking place again with some fun and excitement next week, but a lot of years to celebrate, and specifically those that we have had the pleasure of being here in Oldsmar.
I remember at that time, I think your initial investment was $85 million, something like that?
Well, yes, those numbers were a bit higher than that. The number price tag that we usually place on that first phase was about $123 million.
They say, at the time, it was like 89 or 85 or 90 million, and I know I told the head guy that was there, that isn't he excited that he spent that kind of money in the city of Oldsmar, now bring in another 85 million?
Well, we're happy to also have back Susan Whiting, who is the vice chair of Nielsen, who will be here that day. She was there that day with you, Jerry.
That's
and
who I had
Bruce.
the picture taken with.
Yes, and she'll be there again to continue to take some pictures.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Plan on being there.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Anybody else on this side of the room? We're going to get to you in just a second, if that's okay. Anybody else like to address the council? I'm seeing no one. We'll close the citizen open forum. The first item on the agenda tonight is our consent docket. We have 3 items: approved payment to legal counsel.
Wait, I think they wanted the open forum.
I just told them. Well, I'll get to them in a second.
Okay.
You closed it, though.
Huh?
You closed it, though.
I know.
Oh, okay.
See this thing?
Got me confused.
madness.
Got me confused.
Are you talking about the Boy Scouts?
There's a method to my madness.
He's got it all.
I've got it under control.
Leave it alone.
They've lost faith in you.
I've got it under control.
No.
Don't throw the gavel at me.
It's the consent docket, approved payment to legal counsel, award bid for the Marlborough and Pine intersection improvements, and approved work order with Cardno TBE for construction services for Marlborough Pine project. Anybody wish to pull anything?
No.
If not, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Our next item is the presentation of the council manager award. And I will be doing that. And we will also then be carrying some team duct tape after that.
Team duct tape.
That's okay with you, Jerry.
You're the mayor.
You run it.
This is always a fun award to give. I don't know if he's the youngest one we've ever given it to, is it? Probably close to it.
Close to it.
Close to the youngest one, and it's really an honor to do this. First of all, hello, how are you? Very nice to see you. I feel intimidated by him. He's got so many patches on him. His name is Johnny Ruckert. He's been at council many times. Stood in for Tony Gross last meeting, and we appreciate you doing that. Some of the things about Johnny, he started his Cub Scouts in Oldsmar Pack 64 in the first grade. He crossed over into Oldsmar Boy Scouts Troop 64 in 2009. As a Boy Scout, he has achieved 34 merit badges and earned 5 ranks. He is now a Life Scout working toward the rank of Eagle Scout. To earn this prestigious rank, he must complete an Eagle project. His Eagle project, which is nearly complete, was to plan, budget, raise funds, and direct work to build a fallen soldiers memorial statue at the Veterans Memorial Park in Oldsmar. His project is to honor the American Gold Star mothers and families of fallen soldiers, and we have it on good authority that it's looking awesome, and we're looking forward to seeing it. He's also a youth member of Oldsmar Leisure Services Board, and he's in the 10th grade and attending Newport Pinellas College Preparatory High School. So big round of applause to Johnny. Congratulations. I don't know how you get this on your sleeve, but we'll figure it out. Council Manager Award of Recognition presented to Johnny Ruckert, September 2013.
Wow.
Congratulations.
I got influenced by my father to start Boy Scouts because he was a Boy Scout as he was a child. And it's been great going through Boy Scouts because it's taught me leadership and responsibilities. And it's really great. I'm already going in for an internship. New Point High is helping me do that. And hopefully I'll be going to college after high school and everything. So it's going great. Thank you.
I think it's really awesome because we see so many stories in the news about kids that get into trouble and get down the wrong path. And it's great that you and your family have really done this, and you've done a tremendous job, and you're to be congratulated, and your parents are to be proud of you too. Want a picture? Oh, over here.
You need the parents up
Yeah, the
here.
parents need to come up.
My sister.
Congratulations, Dad. Congratulations. That's awesome, yeah.
Thank you.
Here, sit over there, yeah. Thanks, awesome. Thank you. Now, if it's okay with Jerry Beaverland, just want to make sure that is this all right?
You want me to go home?
Yeah, we've already got a quorum. You can go on. Team Duct Tape, come on up here. This was kind of unexpected, but Jerry sent us an email, and I actually was watching the video prior to you coming in, so when I saw the shirts, I kind of knew what it was. Who's the spokesman? You can use that mic if you want, or you can use this one.
I'll use this one. That's great.
What is Team Duct Tape, and what are you doing here?
All right. Well, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jared Fitzpatrick, 502 Buckingham Avenue, and I'm here representing Team Duct Tape, and we are a first FTC community team. And what we do is we build robots and compete in competitions. Hopefully you've seen the videos maybe that came out. This is our robot from last year, and I brought 2 of my team members. This is Ryder and Jacob.
Hey.
And the first program is has several different levels, but we compete in the high school level. It's called FTC, that's our division. And we build robots to compete in the competition with the ultimate goal of encouraging students to pursue STEM careers.
Yes.
So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So it's the goal of to push kids into that so that they won't be so daunted by the perceived complications of pursuing those careers and get into it early enough where they will be comfortable enough to continue on.
That's wonderful.
Right? And so we did, if you guys are ready, you want to drive that one around? Is he on? Is he turned on?
It's probably Bluetooth.
We have a connection.
Yes, we do. We are connected.
Does it have a name?
Yes, this is Sheldon.
Hey, Sheldon, what's up, dude?
No, I mean the robot. Does the robot have a name?
That's the name.
Watermelon.
It's called what?
We named it Sheldon the watermelon.
Sheldon the watermelon. Oh, okay.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about what you did last year, and I'll set this up.
And they're both like scouts in the troop also. Oh,
That's pretty nice.
Oh, wonderful.
So last year our game was to take last year our game was to pick up like donut rings and to place them on a rack for different scores, 5, 10, and 15 points. Higher up you go. So we decided we would make a bucket almost to grab the rings, and we have our scissor lift to raise and lower to get to the higher score.
Every time they got to a higher ring, I saw the judges.
Yes.
Where was the competition?
It's supposed to be.
Can you see what you're doing? Walk around.
Come this way so the camera can pick them up.
Oh, step around.
Too much watermelon for Sheldon.
So we compete, we actually compete in the Hillsborough League because the Hillsborough League was kind of where our team started. Team Duct Tape started about 6 years ago, and it's kind of been passed down through different team members. We're the current iteration, and so we compete in the Hillsborough League, even though there is a Pinellas League, but it tends to be the other part of Pinellas and not necessarily the northeastern part of Pinellas. We often compete at Middleton High School, but we also go to Hillsborough High School, and sometimes we go as far as Orlando to compete in competitions. Ultimately, the goal is to get to the state championship, which is held at Embry-Riddle on the East Coast. There we go. And we actually have done pretty well. Last year, we came in about 8th out of about 80 Florida teams. So pretty good. Again, most of the kids we have are pretty young, and this was for the most part last year. This was their first real exposure to competing in the first level. Previously, the students from the previous year, we had like 5 or 6, and they all graduated. So, and most of them went on to STEM STEM careers in college. So yeah, so it's and so what we're doing, we're kind of expanding this year. We're trying to make sure we reach out to community, because that's one of the goals of FIRST, is to make sure that people know about our program. They do try to get into a lot of the schools, but even though we're not a school program or a community program, so one of the things we're doing here today is let you guys know about FIRST and about Team Duct Tape out of Oldsmar. And also, we are looking for a little bit of space. Right now, we've been working out of garages without air condition, and we need a field that's about 12 by 12, which just fits in our garage with very little room. So we're hoping to find probably some private space. So we're hoping that if you're aware of anyone that has space that would be available, to maybe point them our direction. One of the opportunities, we are a non-for-profit, so we can offer tax considerations for any donations to our team. But we're looking for a little bit of environmentally controlled space. We basically run the school year, so it would be for about another 4 or 5 months, roughly. But the major competition for us will be first our league competition, the Hillsborough League competition, which is in early January, I believe. And then if we make it through that into states is like end of March, early April time period. There's also, after that, regional competitions, which if we could make it through states, I believe it's like the top 2 teams they would go to Austin, Texas for is it Austin? Austin, right? Austin, Texas for a regional competition. They win that, it will go all the way to St. Louis, Missouri for what they call the world competition, because they actually bring everybody in from all over the world. And we've been 2 times in the last 4 years. 2 times in the last 4 years. This rider went once. Jacob is new to the team. And then the previous members of the team actually went both to a world competition in St. Louis and also one in Atlanta. So
Every year, Team Duct Tape has gone to a state competition, and twice we've been to world.
What they need,
From Oldsmar.
what they need and why they're here is that, I was hoping Jerry Custom would be here, but he's not, is that if there's some organization or some business in town that had that kind of space, 12 foot by 12 foot for these future or these current geniuses. I couldn't even manage a Rector set when I was y'all's age. So they could set up, and it could be permanent there and not move it in and out of the garage.
We'll talk to the chamber and amongst ourselves and
we appreciate
businesses
it.
and see what we can
And
do.
that's all
for
we're
it.
asking for. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your time. All right, thank you.
See you, Sheldon.
How did you get the name Watermelon?
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Program what?
I thought my potato gun was cool when I was in high school. Yeah. They are cool.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, no problem. Next item is our city attorney.
Yes, tonight you have in front of you the contract for attorney services. This is the same contract as it has been for years and years and years, except there's just a few small changes, and I want to bring it to your attention. This was one of the things that was discussed at the budget workshop. We've changed the name of the law firm and brought it current with the current names, all those names on the top. We've added a couple. And the only other change is this in paragraph number 4. I wanted you to know that although the monthly retainer will not change, it has not changed for years, we're asking for the change from $135 to $150 per hour, a $15 increase, and I think it's been 7 years since it's the last increase. So that's the only difference in the contract, and it's here for your consideration tonight.
We need a motion to approve.
You got it.
We need a second. Motion a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Short. Our next item is our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item is consider the Wellington Estates plat, approval of the plat this evening. I know the council is familiar with the project. I'd like to ask our Planning and Redevelopment Director, Marie Dauphiné, to give you a little background and information about this process. As you know, it's a 30-unit subdivision located south of Lafayette and east of State Street.
Yes, we're asking for approval from the council for this replat. It is approximately over 10 acres, and it's 30-lot, single-family subdivision. It has a land use of residential and a zoning of planned unit development. Staff reviewed this request at the TRC meeting, and it has met all conformity review comments. And so staff is recommending approval of the replat, of the Wellington Estates replat. And the planning board on September 11th, 2013 recommended approval of the plat also. So if there's any questions, I will answer them.
I have no questions. Anybody else have any questions? Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Need a second? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thanks, Marie.
Thank you. The next item is consider approval of a special event fee waiver for the September 29 Gold Star Mothers and Families Day ceremony. At the last regular meeting, Johnny Ruckert gave a presentation on the event, and it's scheduled for Sunday, September 29th. The amount of the fee waiver for this event is $278, and we are recommending approval of this request this evening.
Tony's here. Do you want to say anything on that, or no? You can if you'd like.
Yeah, after we
Yeah.
vote, she was gonna come up after a video.
Okay,
we were
that's
gonna
fine.
show. If you wanna
That's
wait,
fine.
yeah.
We'll do it after that. Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And go ahead, Tony.
My name is Tony Gross, and I live at 711 Satin Leaf Avenue, Oldsmar. I am a Gold Star mother.
I am a Gold Star father.
I am a Gold Star sister. Do you know what the Gold Star lapel button signifies? and those who wear it? At the conclusion of World War II, Congress established the Gold Star lapel button to provide an appropriate means to identify widows and widowers, children, parents, and brothers and sisters of members of the armed forces of the United States who lost their lives in the defense of democracy and freedom during the World Wars I and II, and any subsequent armed hostilities in which the United States became engaged. The Gold Star lapel button's unique design incorporates the symbols that indicates the family's loss. The laurel wreath border signifies valor. The purple field signifies the family's grief or mourning. The Gold Star has been used since World War I to signify died in a combat theater. Gold Star Awareness Inc. produced this video in memory of Corporal Frank R. Gross, killed in action July 16, 2011 in Afghanistan.
Beloved son
and little brother.
When a man or woman enters our armed force, thank you. When a man or woman enters our armed forces, their service banner contains a blue star. It is by fate and sacrifice that their blue star turns to gold. July the 16th, 2011, I became a Gold Star mother as my son's blue star turned to gold. Corporal Frank R. Gross was killed in Afghanistan. What is a Gold Star mother? A Gold Star mother is the mother of a fallen U.S. service member who died in combat theater or from a service-related death or suicide during active duty other than combat. Mothers of fallen service members began calling themselves Gold Star mothers during the First World War. The United States began observing Gold Star Mother's Day in 1936. Today, Gold Star Mothers and Families Day, held on the last Sunday in September, honors and recognizes the sorrow and sacrifice of family members of fallen service members. This year, Gold Star Mothers and Families Day is Sunday, September the 29th. Please join me at Oldsmar's beautiful waterfront Veterans Memorial Park at 1 p.m. for a ceremony honoring Tampa Bay's Gold Star families, remembering their fallen, and dedicating a very special memorial. And once again, I want to thank my community and my city council and leadership for supporting me in this event. And I do appreciate all you've done, waiving the fees, supporting me in many ways. I feel the love and I appreciate it. And once again, Oldsmar is the greatest community to live in. And after I finish speaking, there's going to be a 8-minute movie about Frank. I didn't choose to show this, but Gabby asked me if it would be okay to show. And for the next 8 minutes, this is about Frank Gross, and he was the only soldier from, the only son soldier from Oldsmar to have died in combat action.
Dave Jones calling you from Afghanistan, and I just wanted to call and check in and see how you're doing. Let you know that the guys are continuing. You're doing real well. Catching a lot of bad guys. It's cleaning up the area from being pretty bad to being at least tolerable. You'd be real proud of them, and we're just we're missing Frank, and of course we're sending you our love and our prayers, and just hope that you and your wife and your family are doing well, and let you know that every day Frank is still with us over here. So we just want you to know that, and wish you the best.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
It was beautiful.
That was quite touching. And
Of course. I didn't want to have us all in tears, but it just was such a beautiful video. I just wanted others to see, and especially because the event's oncoming, for people to understand really the sacrifice that all the families have gone through. And
Absolutely.
because I've known Frank since we were really young, so just very beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
yeah, the city and the community are always there for you and the efforts that you put in. And that was very touching. A lot of us don't hopefully get to experience that, but it was well done, and definitely. And thank you.
Okay, I think perhaps one way as we transition back into the regular agenda and back to our business, it gives me an opportunity to also put in a plug for Frankie's Patriot Barbecue, which is on Keystone Road between East Lake Road and US 19. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, the food is very good also. And it's been open 2 or 3 months now, but if you haven't had an opportunity, I would encourage you to patronize Frankie's Patriot Barbecue as well. And if you can, as we have said earlier, attendance and participation at the event on September 29th at Veterans Memorial Park. Our next item is a public hearing on Resolution 2013-21, adopting the millage rate for the upcoming fiscal year 2013 and 14. In July, the council authorized us to certify a taxable value and a proposed millage rate of 4.05 mils to the property appraiser. That was information supplied to the trim notices that all property owners receive in August of each year. The first public hearing on the millage rate was held at our last regular meeting on Tuesday, September 3rd. I'll read Resolution 2013-21, a resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, setting the millage levy for the City of Oldsmar for the year beginning October 1, 2013 and ending September 30, 2014. Whereas the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, has reviewed the proposed appropriations for the City of Oldsmar for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2013 and ending September 30, 2014. Whereas in accordance with law, the Pinellas County Property Appraiser has certified to the City of Oldsmar a rollback millage rate of 3.9475 mils, and whereas the proposed millage rate is greater than the rollback rate by 2.6%. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, in session duly and regularly assembled as follows. 1, that the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida hereby sets the millage rate for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2013 and ending September 30, 2014 at 4.05 mils. 2, that this resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption. That is the reading of Resolution 2013-21. This does require a public hearing, Mayor.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody from the public wish to address this item? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item will also be a public hearing. This is on Resolution 2013-22, adopting the budget for FY 13 and 14. The proposed budget was presented to Council on July 19th, the budget work session held on August 22nd. At the last regular meeting on September 3rd, the Council conducted the first public hearing and adopted the tentative budget. State law requires separate votes for the millage and adoption of the budget. Of course, you just adopted the millage rate. There has been one change from the tentative budget adopted 2 weeks ago regarding the appropriation for the public art project. The council will recall we had $25,000 in the current year ending September 30th, and then there's $20,000 in the upcoming budget year. Those came from 2 different projects. The money in this year's budget, of course, will not be appropriated by September 30th, so that $25,000 just has been rolled forward into next year's budget. So it's budgeted in the Recreation Division. You'd see that now at $45,000. So that's the only change from the tentative budget that you adopted 2 weeks ago. I'll read the resolution. This is a resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, adopting the budget appropriations for the City of Oldsmar for the year beginning October 1, 2013 and ending September 30, 2014. Whereas the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida has reviewed the proposed appropriations for the City of Oldsmar for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2013 and ending September 30, 2014. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida in session duly and regularly assembled as follows. 1, that the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida does hereby establish the appropriations for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2013 and ending September 30, 2014 as follows. See attached Schedule A. General Fund, $14,885,885. Public Safety Impact Fund, $11,000. Parkland Dedication Fund, $50,000. Transportation Impact Fund, $25,000. Community Redevelopment Agency Fund, $761,620. Debt Service, Veterans Memorial Park, $167,340. Capital Improvement Fund, $575,000. Water and Sewer Operating Fund, $7,693,540. Water and Sewer Impact Fund, $156,000. Stormwater Utility Fund, $947,640. Solid Waste Fund, $2,341,120. Total budget appropriations, $27,614,145. 2. All purchase orders for materials and services that remain open at year-end FY 13-14 are to become supplemental appropriations in the respective departmental accounts in the fiscal year ending September 30, 2015, unless canceled. 3. That this resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption. That is the reading of Resolution 2013-22. There is also a public hearing prior to action on this item, Mayor.
This is a public hearing. Does anybody wish to address the budget item this evening? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. I need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just am amazed. He read every single thing on this resolution without one mess up at all. Not even a skip.
I didn't have any faith in you either.
That was amazing.
Well, thank you.
Compliment the city manager for doing something like that.
I saw your face. You were looking. You were amazed too.
And I think he went to the Evelyn Wood speed reading there for a while.
I picked it up, for a while.
Is there something on TV tonight we don't know about?
Well, Duck Dynasty is on.
Duck Dynasty. Yes, I've heard all about Duck Dynasty. Yeah.
Where you take the book. I know you feel the same way, that it takes a whole bunch of people to make this millage rate stay the same. It takes a whole bunch of people to make this budget the way it is. And to all the staff, I know this council thanks all the staff, but also the council takes a little bit of responsibility for all of this also. So I think everything together, when all the other cities such as Dunedin and the others are raising their rates.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, and it does take a collective effort of staff and even taxpayers to some extent that live here and that want to live here and contribute to it, and the council as well. And this is how many years in a row? I know I ask this all the time, that we haven't had a millage increase.
23?
Oh, we've been at the same, but we haven't had an increase.
The last one was 1988, so that would be.
Right, and we've continued to go down ever since.
25 years, wouldn't
That's the only increase. 1988 was the only increase. 4 years and possibly 5 years, we had a decrease.
Right.
At least from 1988 till today, we've had at least 4 and possibly 5 decreases.
Yeah, and we were just recently at the Florida League of Cities, and I also meet with other elected officials in the city of Oldsmar, and we're definitely probably in a unique situation. There are some that are not, proposing increases, but it's great for our residents, that's for sure. So thank you to the staff. We've got a motion and a second. That's worth it. And yeah, the taxpayers are here, so love it. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0, thank you.
Thank you. The next item is to authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance annexing 3128 Huron Avenue. This is a request for a voluntary annexation from the property owner. Has been reviewed by the planning board. They also recommend that the property be annexed into the city limits. I have given you the address. This is located in West Oldsmar, and tonight we are asking that you authorize the city attorney to prepare the annexation ordinance.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye, passes 5-0, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and council, item 11, status report on Exeter Street Railroad Crossing closure. This is a status report. It does not require council action tonight. Our Public Works Director, Lisa Ray, will continue the presentation.
Thank you, Lisa Ray, Director of Public Works. And what I'm going to be doing is giving you an update on one project in particular, but it kind of overlaps a couple of other projects. So we're going to be talking about a couple of projects at the same time. But just to start, the crossing that we're specifically talking about is the one right out here that crosses, it's officially called Exeter Street Crossing if you look at the naming convention, but most of us think of it as either an extension of State Street or of Commerce Boulevard. But I'm going to be calling it Exeter because that's the official name when you look at maps and such.
Do you know why it's called Exeter?
Because Exeter's right over
Because
here.
it was Exeter at one time.
Yes. Oh, really? Before 580 kept going straight?
It's Exeter all the way to Tampa Road.
Okay, well, that explains it. All I know is that when you look at it now driving, it's usually, I think of it more like State Street or Commerce, but it's officially not. So I need to give you a little bit of background for some of you who might not be familiar with it, and for those listening. The city is interested in opening a new crossing on Burbank. And as you know now, Burbank is a dirt road next to Tower Lake. Then there's no crossing, and then it is a paved road from there down to Tampa Road. In order to open a new crossing, CSX has some pretty stringent requirements. They require that you close 3 other crossings. Now, we've been working with FDOT and CSX to address this, and instead of closing 3 crossings, what we're doing is FDOT is going to be contributing 1 crossing. We're going to be doing some safety upgrades to the Forest Lakes crossing, which is one of the routes for walking to school. And we're going to be closing the Exeter Street crossing that's right here. So 2 crossings, 1 safety improvement, and we complete those. At this point, we have a tentative agreement with CSX. We're kind of still working out some details there, but I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Did it go? Okay. This is a map that shows you the areas that I'm going to be talking about, just in case, you're not really familiar with it, which most of you are. So we're starting on the west with the Forest Lakes Boulevard crossing. I'll talk about that first, then I'll talk about Exeter, and then finally I'll talk about the Burbank. Now, the Forest Lakes crossing, this is what it looks like now. As you can see, there are no crossing arms. There are no pedestrian crossing arms. It's pretty low key. And yet that is a very busy crossing. We have a lot of cars that use Forest Lakes to cut from Tampa Road over to 580. And as I said before, it is a pedestrian crossing. And this next slide shows the pedestrian crossing even closer. Our trail goes through this area as well. And then if you're coming from this direction, if you're coming from Tampa Road heading towards 580, if you're not paying attention, you don't even see that there is a crossing. We've been very fortunate that nobody's actually pulled out in front of a train, but what we're proposing to do is install crosswalks and lights in these locations and the gates. So if a train is coming, the gates will go down, the lights will start flashing, not only on the road for the cars, but also on the sidewalk and on the trail, because that's, again, where the trail is running now. The trail runs down that way. So these safety improvements are going to help with our students that walk this route. It also helps with our residents that drive this route, and for people who aren't familiar with the area and don't realize, as it is now, if you're not familiar, you might not realize there's a train crossing there and might just keep going. Now, the project status, like I said, right now we are working with FDOT and CSX. FDOT put together the preliminary design. However, CSX has some very stringent requirements about who's allowed to do design work and do work in their right-of-way. And based on that, the original preliminary design from FDOT, CSX will be finalizing it with one of their approved engineers, and then the city will be paying CSX to actually complete the work. And so we'll be paying for the design and be paying for the construction work, but CSX will be managing it, because all of the work that's going to be done there is going to be done within their right-of-way. It's not actually done on city property, county property. So we have to coordinate very closely with them, and they're very stringent about how everything is handled within their right-of-way. Right now, the time frame is also, we're working on that as well. We're finalizing those agreements. In fact, tomorrow we have a meeting out at we're going to be going to all 3 of the intersections with representatives from CSX and FDOT to look at all of the locations, discuss the design modifications that need to be done, talk about the safety at the Forest Lakes one, and we're going to be looking at the Exeter Street crossing. So these are some of the current shots of what it looks like now. As you can see, we still have emergency signals. The emergency signals were originally installed when the fire station was right next door. And they were required because access onto Tampa Road or onto 580, there wasn't a good light for them to get out that direction, and they had to have the emergency signal so they could stop traffic. Now what happens, and I have seen this pulling out of here, and I've heard this via email, it does cause confusion to people who are not used to driving in this area. They see these flashing lights, some of them will start slowing down in the middle of traffic, coming to stops. You're nodding, you've probably seen it yourself. And so one of the improvements that will be made is those lights will be removed. The intersection, the crossing itself, most people just use it to get from one side to the other. It is dangerous. There have been quite a few accidents in the area that have been documented. FDOT considers it's dangerous. And because of that, it is being approved for a LAP grant. So FDOT will be paying for the costs on this closure. The grant at this point, though we're still finalizing some of the design, the dollars might change. It's projected to be around $160,000. So they will be paying for the work at this intersection. And what exactly are we going to be doing? Well, as you can see, this is an aerial of the location. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to be removing those emergency signals. Then we're going to be modifying this median. Right now it has a turn lane that allows you to turn to the north on the Exeter crossing. We're going to be widening the median, which will allow landscaping to be extended farther down, and that's also going to be funded by a grant that Lynn has obtained through a LAP project as well. We'll be changing the configuration a little bit at the end of the median so it's more conducive to making a left-hand turn instead of sticking out so far. Then we're on the north side of the crossing, we're going to be installing a hammerhead for turnarounds for people who mistakenly turn in here. They'll have a place to turn around. They'll be able to do a 3-point turn to get out. On the south side, we'll be installing a curb all the way across. So the way it looks to the left and the right of the crossing, the curb's going to come all the way across, the pavement's going to be removed, and it will be grass in that area. Down here on the State Street crossing section, we'll be installing a pedestrian island. Right now we have a painted island. There are no crosswalks designated at this crossing right over here. And so in order to make it more conducive to pedestrians crossing, what we'll be doing is installing, there's going to be an island there, and then we'll be doing some crosswalks. And I'll show you those when we look at the plans. You'll see those on the plan shots. And I believe you all did receive a set of plans as well. Okay, good. And then on the north side, we're not making there's no real changes on Commerce, but we will be installing truncated domes on the crosswalks, and that'll be true at all of the crosswalk locations. Those are those little raised bumps. They're for people who are blind or have other impairments so that they can tell when they're getting to a crossing so that they stop and they don't just keep going. So we'll be installing those at those crossings as well. It improve pedestrian safety. Now here are some of the drawings which are in your set, but we kind of zoomed in on these intersections themselves. And here we're looking at, this is the north side, so this is Tampa Road. You have Commerce coming down. We're going to be doing the crosswalk striping. It needs to be redefined. Right now, if you look at the striping in Tampa Road, you have solid white lines. Solid white lines indicate that you are entering an intersection. You've all noticed that when you drive into an intersection, you have the solid white lines. Those will all be removed, and you'll be putting in the dashed lines, which means that you're in flow-through traffic. We are keeping the left turn because it is the access to Pest Bear, so we don't want to take away their access. And then just to the south of it, you see we do have the crosswalk again. Down here at this intersection, again, you can see the pedestrian crossing that we're putting in, and you can see the island that we're going to be creating. And then we have the widened median as well. Now, like I said, we have received a grant to cover this. We have submitted the closure application to FDOT and CSX. It's in the review process. They also have a set of the 60% drawings that they're reviewing right now. And as I stated before, we do have our site meeting tomorrow with FDOT and CSX to go over all of this, as well as the improvements at the other two intersections. We'll be talking about all of them. We will need to finalize the stipulation of parties, which is the agreement between the city, FDOT, and CSX prior to actually doing any of the work out there. So that will be an agreement that will need to come to council and will require your approval. Now, at the Burbank Road extension, this is looking north on Burbank. So if you're standing there, you got the McDonald's is a little farther back here on the right, and you have some industrial buildings. At the end, it's just barricaded off, and it has the signals. You're not allowed to go that direction. On the other side of Burbank, so this is just looking over the other side of the barrier. There's the crossing. It's a dirt road that goes next to Tower Lakes. We are in design right now for the paving of Burbank to bring that all the way down. There will be a sidewalk that'll lead towards Tower Lake, and that is being done in conjunction with the widening of Douglas Road. And Douglas Road is going to be widened to 3 lanes. It's going to be 2 travel lanes and a center designated turn lane. And on the north side of Douglas Road, we're designing a 10-foot wide trail extension so that people in the industrial park would be able to walk down towards Tower Lake if they so desired. And the projects all kind of get tied together because, well, you've got the railroad crossing that we want to open at Burbank, but we can't open it if we don't do the Exeter and we don't do the Forest Lakes. And then the Burbank is in the same stormwater drainage system as the Douglas Road. And so then we need to get stormwater permits. And so those two projects kind of overlap. And so all of these projects have pieces, though they're separate projects with some different funding. For example, the grant or the LAP grant coming from FDOT. But they're all having to move somewhat together in order to make it all fit and make it all work. And are there any questions? I'll be more than happy to answer them.
No, I think it's great.
I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said you did a great job. explaining.
The only definition we don't know yet is CXX's definition of eternity.
Sorry, the definition of CSX?
It's eternity.
Eternity, he said.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only cloud in this whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Their FDOT has been extremely responsive, very interested in working with us on it. We've met with them several times, and heck, they're giving us money to close this. But CSX has been. It'll work out. It's going to work out great. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow. We're all going to agree on everything.
You're going to pray tonight.
Optimistic.
Yeah. I mean, we always thought DOT was the hard one.
No,
to do.
Oh, CSX.
They do nothing fast.
No, yeah, CSX. But I think it'll be a productive meeting. FDOT and the city, we're all on the same
It'll
page.
all get done.
And so I think
We may not be sitting on council when it gets done, but it will get done.
it will get done.
Yeah. Anybody else have questions? No?
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Looks really
Thank
good.
you. That's
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you for the update. Anything else?
That's all, thank you.
City clerk?
Nothing tonight.
Yeah. You're lucky I don't bring up Toastmasters. I'll tell you about that later.
I that at Toastmasters did a great job on your speech at the open house.
Oh, thank you. Next is the city council. First item is authorize the city attorney to prepare a resolution regarding the Biggert Waters Flood Insurance Reform Act, sorry. Freudian slip, yeah. This is something that I asked to be put on. Bruce and I talked today, and a lot of the other mayors and the other municipalities throughout the city are doing this. And although we all know how we feel about resolutions, I think it's one that it just kind of needs to be done. As Bruce and I talked today, the decision makers that are in charge of this really are the ones that aren't affected by this. So we're going to have it's going to be a tough thing to try and stop. But as Bruce said, Florida is probably the most affected out of the country, and Pinellas County the most affected probably out of the state. So we certainly, collectively should try and do something, but it's probably as always going to fall on deaf ears. So,
Well, I think the resolution is going to pass. I would also like to request the council underneath the mayor's signature to invite Bill Nelson and Rubio or their representatives to stand before us at this council meeting or a council meeting and explain to us exactly what's going on. And then they will know that everybody knows everybody's concerned.
Yeah.
Have them standing right out there and makes them know that we're really concerned.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I don't know that it'll happen, but maybe we can author a letter to them, ask them to come and tell us, what are we supposed to tell our residents?
Absolutely. And something that.
Or we'll just record them and play it for our residents, yeah.
And then, because this was handed to me tonight, it's, I think you got one also, is that we are graded about percentages of discount.
Mm-hmm.
And Oldsmar has a 20% discount or whatever this thing is. I haven't, it's a community rating system eligible for communities. And Oldsmar is eligible for a 20% discount in the flood insurance, whatever it happens. And maybe they can send out there and tell us how we can get this to about 30% or 40%.
Okay, yeah, maybe we can do that. Can we get a letter drafted to them? Probably won't do anything, but.
About the rating?
Huh? Yeah,
About the rating?
invite them, yeah, see if they'll come.
Marie could probably tell us that, but if you would like someone from ISO or FEMA, we could certainly invite them also.
You're asking for the elected official?
Well, no, I thought this was a different, I thought you'd moved on from that.
Sorry.
Either way, but I
he had
like
asked
the
that-
elected, we like the elected officials to stand out here.
Right.
And then on this one,
Yeah.
whomever.
I was asking about the first one, you were discussing the second one, but that's fine. Yep, go ahead.
Well, the city makes application to, the NFIP or the community rating system, and we, garner these points through different activities that the city, accomplishes, and that's how we maintain the Class 6 rating. So we're constantly trying to work towards a better rating, and we haven't heard this year what we submitted from last year. I think they were kind of overwhelmed as far as this BW12, but we're hoping to go to a 5. But it's not like they don't give it to you. You have to earn it. I was told.
Yeah, I didn't really mean that you were going to give that presentation this evening.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to hear more about the rating system, then, we can arrange that also.
Have somebody here from whoever you're talking about and tell them we want a 5.
I said that already, and they said you have to earn it. I said that many years ago.
Let them stand before us, we'll tell them the same thing.
Yeah.
Could we play that video? Do we have it on the city's website already? The one that we watched at the last council meeting? Like, is that on the front page?
Have a link out there, yeah.
Okay, and then maybe Debbie could post it on the Facebook if she hasn't already, but she probably has, but.
Yeah, we actually talked about that at, what was it, the mayor's breakfast or something like that? And I don't know, did we wind up sharing it with them?
I think so,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, it was very Reader's Digest, very simple, it was very easy to understand. Lisa, I think her name was
The
it?
property appraiser, though, sent out an
Kimberly.
email yesterday and today, and they gave us the number of pre-firm structures, single-family structures in Oldsmar, and we have 3,964.
Wow.
And, what did they say? No, excuse me, that was the total number of single-family in our taxing district. And the pre-firm is 300 and, where was that number? 387, so it's 10%.
10%.
So really, compared to some other communities, they're 40%, 60% in Bel Air,
They're huge.
Beach. I think St. Petersburg has 86%.
Wow.
Their pre-firm buildings are going to be an issue. And also, last year, the council adopted a ordinance amendment regarding substantial improvements. So the life of the structure, we would only go to 10 years. And now this act reduces it from 50% to 30%. So not really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a
You might
motion.
So that means
explain
some-
what pre-firm is.
Those are structures that were built prior to the city entering into or being part of the National Flood Insurance Program. So that was 1971 for the city when we first entered into it.
And 10% is pretty good. We had the mayor's council and
Yeah,
they
10%.
went around and they talked about all the different municipalities and, yeah.
It's gonna be
80.
rough.
It's going to be tough, yeah, definitely.
Well,
And commercial buildings too, especially, that's going to be
Everything.
outrageous.
I think that the residential are the big issue.
But I'm out on the beaches, you got a lot of commercial and hotels and the little mom and pops, and that's going to really hurt them, so. But,
So Marie, what does that mean for those of us that do have the pre-firm houses that have been in the process of already doing improvements based on the 50%? Does that mean now automatically we are
30%,
done?
according to the act, 30%. So you can only make improvements up to 30% of,
And if we've
value
already
of the
done
structure.
some, then we're done.
well, we were going up to
Or do we
the life of the
start
structure,
over?
but you changed it to 10 years last year. So we'll go to 30% now. So if you haven't,
You'd have to wait 10 years.
Right.
And would it go from the beginning of this act being enacted or from the last time those of us that are in this situation
Like she's
did a
saying, when she's already
renovation?
at 35.
Yeah,
the shift
I'm
is-
already almost to 50%, so other people
you couldn't
might
make
be.
any changes now according to this
So
act.
because
and
of
for
this,
10
then
years.
anybody in our position is capped
For 10 years.
for 10 years.
And then you
From
go-
the time of our last improvement?
Yeah, should be.
Well, it's cumulative for 10 years. We were doing it for the life of the structure. Now we went back to 10 years, or we changed it to 10 years. So it's a little better, but
And it's gonna be rough on somebody if somebody wants to sell their house.
Yeah, boy, you're
The
not
people that buy it
Oh,
are
yeah.
going to get strangled.
Well, wouldn't they get to start over with 30%?
No, I don't think so, no.
Stays with the structure.
Yeah.
no matter whether it changes.
House and you sold it, whoever buys it is gonna be strangled.
Unless they
They're
pay
gonna be
cash.
strangled.
Unless they pay
Better love
cash.
it exactly how it is.
Pay cash. They're gonna be strangled.
Marie.
Thank you.
Anyway, you want a motion,
Yeah.
and I like to put in that motion a letter also underneath your signature.
That's fine. Motion, I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes, thank you. Next item, approve the excused absence of Vice Mayor Miller. I need a motion to approve that.
I'll think about it. I'm so moved.
Yeah. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye, passes 5-0. Next is approve the excused absence of Councilmember Norris. I need a motion to approve that as well.
So moved.
So I got a motion and a second. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye, passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Next is to schedule the work session to complete the planning priorities for 2013, 2014, and what was our anticipated date?
October 11th.
October 11. Does anybody have a problem with that? I do not. Let me
I'm
just-
good with it.
It's a Friday.
What time are we saying?
9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lunch
Nine.
is included. Location to be determined. We haven't determined the location yet.
Okay.
Again,
Location to be determined, 9 to 2
We're
on the
not going all the
11th.
way to the preserve this
Can we
time.
stay here?
Local, yeah.
I don't think we're going to the preserve, so it'll be closer than that.
thank you.
I need a, is everybody okay with the 11th?
Yep.
Okay, no further action needed. The next item is comments by council. We'll start with Councilmember Norris.
Oh, I actually have a few things today. You caught me off guard, Mayor.
There was a 1 in 4 shot that was going to be you.
I know. I didn't realize we were already up to that point. All right, let me get out of my little annotate. I wanted to ask Lisa a question. If, I just wanted to know if the electrolab code violation has all been taken care of and they've, yes? Okay, so they resolved it, didn't have to, okay. Because that was concerning, especially since it's their second violation this year. It's about our water, so.
Yes, we were able to work with Electrolab, and they have resolved it. We did various inspections. They've made changes to the protocol, and we're still monitoring them very closely, but everything's been resolved.
Right, 'cause that's not just a little violation. That's the city's water supply. And twice in 1 year?
Right, well,
Okay, great, thank you. And then but while you're here, I just wanted to congratulate you in person on the Utility Management Conference. For those of you that don't know, it was the mayor of, or who's the other person?
It's the Director of Public Works for the City of Clearwater, Tracy Mercer, and Jan, our Utilities Administrator, and myself, we entered an abstract and was accepted by the Utility Management Conference. It's a national conference. And we're doing about It Takes a Community, and one of the things we're talking about is Citizens Academy in there.
That's really cool, so you're gonna be doing that in January.
Yes.
And in the email that I read, the city manager, Bruce, called it he called it interesting and intriguing, and I didn't get the attachment, so I would like that. If you could send me the
Yeah,
I'd like to read
I'll
it.
forward that to you.
Interesting and intriguing. Like, okay, good. So, and then I just wanted to just let everybody else know too, I know we've already talked about this, that Pat from the fire department is going to be retiring, and her retirement party is Friday the 27th at the fire station. So if anybody wants to stop by to congratulate her and send her on her merry retirement way after 25 years, that would be great. And that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Councilmember McGee?
I told Bruce and Doug about this the other day, but those of you that might have seen the helicopter.
Harboring criminals you are.
Polite
it was
ones at
Sunday
that.
around 11:30 in the morning, came home from being out of town, pulled into the garage, and didn't see any police cars or anything yet. And Nick got out of the car, and then I got out, and I could see him talking to somebody in our neighbor's yard who it wasn't home. And I saw it was a young gentleman, and Nick was talking to him, and then he started walking off, and I said, "What was that about?" And he said, I asked him if he needed help, and he said, "Well, yeah, I'm actually hiding from the police. I'm on house arrest, and they're looking for me." And he wanted to know if he could have a ride home. And Nick, of course, said no, but he said, if you need us to call somebody for you. And he's like, no, I'll just walk home. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna call somebody. I'm gonna call the police right now. So someone else pulled up and they told me that, oh yeah, I saw a bunch of police, and then I could see a helicopter. And I'm like, well, they're probably looking for this guy. So I call, and of course the deputies came, about 3 deputies came out pretty quickly. And then the helicopter came over a little closer and told them which way he went. And they ended up apprehending him with about 10 minutes over off of Tampa Road, but it turns out, he was involved in kind of a brawl at the barber shop earlier, and he happened to flash a handgun, and so that's why there was, so many deputies involved. And thankfully, he didn't have the handgun on him when he approached us for a ride. He thankfully left it in the car.
But it should be noted, he was very polite.
He was a very polite criminal that wanted a ride home. That was hiding in our neighbor's backyard. So when they get back in town, it'd be really interesting to tell them the story. But just wanted to say great job to Pinellas County Sheriff's Office that they did there. And also went to the new Marriott grand reopening yesterday. I know I missed, you two were there, but Courtyard and the Residence Inn just recently remodeled their rooms. They had about a $4 million investment. Really, really nice job. I mean, I would definitely recommend people to stay there. Carpet, furniture, everything completely redone in both of those hotels right here in pretty affordable rates. And that's all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Beaverly?
Got a couple things. Well, he just went out the door. I want to ask him what happened over at Jameson Lab. There was five SOs over there, and then we came over here, and then there was 5 more over on Jefferson. Well, what that was about.
That's probably her event.
Yeah. What day was yours?
Sunday?
They jumped out of the car, or he jumped out of the car on
During the
Jefferson.
day?
Yeah, during the day.
Oh, that's right.
What that was?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it was-
You out there
Jumped out of the
chasing?
police car?
They were all over the
He
place.
jumped out of a car that he was in, and that's why he was hiding in my neighbor's yard.
I
because
gotcha.
Well, that answers that. It must have started over there at Jameson's, I guess.
That's where he jumped out of the car, I guess.
That's where he jumped out of the car?
Yeah.
And he ran all the way this way?
Well, no, the fight happened at the barbershop. They drove away, and the police tried to pull them over at
Which
Jefferson.
barbershop?
The one on
The
St.
one
Pete
on
Drive?
St. Pete Drive, the
Oh,
little.
Lord.
I know. And then they tried to pull him over at Jefferson, and that's where he jumped out and ended up running over to my neighbor's
A
yard.
polite young gentleman.
There was enough of them there. They caught him, I guess. They gonna give you an award or something? The East Lake Band is the only band in the state of Florida that was picked to go to be invited to the 2014 National Memorial Day Parade in Washington D.C. The East Lake Band. They need money, people. They need money to go up there.
That's
And
awesome.
we consider them Oldsmar's band.
Yes.
I want to know where Jerry Custon is.
You want us to call him?
We need to go out and find Jerry Custon. He's not here tonight.
We know where he is, though.
Yeah, he's at the chamber mixer, the 7-chamber mixer.
Oh, I'll talk to Jerry. But they need donations. They need money to go to Washington D.C. And they are our band that we did adopt. East Lake band.
When did you say they're calling?
The
In 14.
Memorial Day.
Oh, okay.
Now, did they give you like a website or anything that we should direct people to, or?
It's at www.
eastlakeband.com/sponsorship.
Okay.
Say it slow, I will. eastlakeband.com/sponsorship. Great band, the only band in the state of Florida.
That's awesome.
That was invited.
See if he can, forward slash or back. Forward slash.
Oh, don't get him
backslash.
confused.
I just want to see if he can answer it.
Don't confuse me. I was lucky to
Which
get
way
that.
does your
I
slash
was lucky to
lean?
get that out. And I think it would be, I had the team duct tape to talk about, but you already done that, Mayor, so I don't do that right now. Good going, gang. Good going. I consider Ken Harris not a close friend, but he's a friend. Ken Harris is a friend. We've had lunch together a number of times. His father died, and I think it's proper for the city of Oldsmar to send flowers. And I think it's proper for the city of Oldsmar to send a card.
Ken Harris from the
Welch.
Historical Society?
Ken Welch, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was about to say, I just
Oh.
saw Ken.
I was gonna say, what?
You're looking, Ken Welch, County
Oh.
Commissioner,
Oh.
Ken
Yeah, I
Welch,
thought
Ken
that
Welch.
was-
I do this all the time. Remember, I forgot my wife's name on our first date, how her name was. Ken Welch. Like I said, I'll start over again. We are not close friends, but I consider him a friend. We have had
Yes.
lunch many
Well,
times.
he's also a commissioner.
And he has also supported the city of Oldsmar
Yes.
after I
Yes.
chastised him in my letter way back yonder.
Yeah.
Anyway, and also a card to Ken personally, maybe
Yes.
underneath the mayor's signature
Okay,
or all of
all
us.
of us.
All of
Yes.
his
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
signature.
Yes.
I think that's proper.
Yeah, I do too.
Absolutely.
Okay, and is that all I have?
You know,
guess that's
he
it.
forgot her name, so that's why he calls her my beautiful wife all the time. He still doesn't know her name.
That's why I call her my beautiful wife.
It's easier.
Oh, I was gonna say Ken Harris might be offended that you said he's not a
Yeah,
close friend.
Gee.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Vice Mayor Miller?
I hope everybody can hear me. I had some biopsies done, and it took my voice away for a while. I do want to tell everybody, though, that I have been diagnosed with lung cancer. And I am going through treatments. I've had my 6th radiation treatment today. My doctor, Dr. Narud Juden, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. He is absolutely positive that I will reach remission. I start chemo on Monday, and I have a positive attitude. And I'm going to beat this for as long as I can. And I'm going to keep working for the city of Oldsmar.
You better.
You know I will. I feel well. I feel good. Tired because of the radiation. But I feel good, actually. And my husband, I couldn't ask for a better nurse.
You mean that guy in the back?
That guy in the back there is, I mean, he is unbelievable. He's so good to me. And he counts every pill and every time I take it and blah, 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 you know. He's just wonderful. The dog's a little confused, you know, because she was always top priority.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, so now she's kind of on a back burner a little bit, you know. So, but anyway, that'll change too. I'll get stronger and stronger. And anyway, thank you for all of your love and support. I have so many wonderful, wonderful friends in this city. And I love all you guys. We love you.
We love you too.
And you won't lose your hair, right?
No, I'm not supposed to, no.
If you do, I'm cutting my hair off.
Okay, okay.
I'll shave mine, I swear
Okay,
to it.
okay, buddy.
Anything else?
Oh, that's it.
Thank you. Well, our thoughts and prayers are with you. We've talked and you've talked to everybody, and the doctor did say, I was talking to Ruben, and I think you were in the background, back there, and that was the one thing was that the doctor said for her to keep on keeping on, to keep her mind occupied, and obviously your health and wellness is the most important thing, but we need you in that seat to work for the people out here, so.
I intend to stay.
Even if we got to duct tape you to the seat. So.
Well, I intend to be around until I would, until, what is it, 14, 15? When I run again?
Oh, we're not even worried about that.
So, I mean, I'll be here.
Note that in the tape, please.
You gotta have you have to be there in case he wants to throw a gavel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. A couple of things. I did go to Toastmasters the other night. That was great. For those that don't know, and I don't know a lot about it, Dan Saraki's here, but I thought it was about toasters. I really didn't know when I heard about it 2 years ago. I didn't know. I'm like, what is Toastmasters? But it's a great organization. I think Dan joined it while he was running for council. They asked me to come and speak. And I said yes, and then he said, and you will be graded. I'm thinking, oh, God. So they actually had somebody there grading me on my speech.
What'd you get?
I don't know. He said,
What did you get,
How many
Dan?
ums and ahs did you have?
I don't know. But I had, yeah. But
Oh, you had it easy then.
yeah. But it was good. It was really interesting. It was kind of
The ums and ahs.
it was their first open house. It is tough, and I said this at the meeting, and even tonight with Johnny. I do public speaking to audiences of about 500,000 people every weekend on the radio, and I can do that with no problem. I can introduce Kenny Chesney on a stage in front of 70,000 people, but it's moments like making sure that I acknowledge Johnny right and the things that are important to him. That's when you get nervous, and so it's neat and it's fun. I said at the Toastmasters, I went back and listened to some of my radio tapes from years and years ago, and as they say at Toastmasters, they kind of keep sharpening the edge. That's what Toastmasters is all about, is keep working on your skill. And I thought, man, I don't know how I ever made it in radio 20-something years listening to those horrible tapes of me back in the day, but definitely public speaking. The other thing is, I was also at the grand reopening of the 2 hotels. Sorry, Bruce, you weren't around to win the prize at the end. Thanks to Bruce for telling me where to put my business card. I now get a weekend stay at the Marriott. Sorry about that, Bruce.
Do I get Saturday night or something?
Yeah, you can come for breakfast, yeah. But as Gabby said, beautiful hotels. I stayed there a couple of years ago, and they were really starting to become worn out. But if you ever get a chance to even stop in there, the Marriott actually has a restaurant in there, and they've got some excellent food, and they've really done a first-class job on that. And I don't really think they've changed the rates at all, so definitely stop by and see them. I went by and had dinner consisting of hot dogs tonight at the art display over there, and I wish I was half as talented as those kids, Oldsmar Elementary and Forest Lakes. Once again, congratulations to Johnny and to your entire family, and thanks for staying. Hey, that's kind of neat. And I had no idea you were going to say this, and I made what you had said, and everybody appreciates this, but it was really more about what Lisa said and about that your Citizens Academy, and I call it your Citizens Academy, is going to get kind of national recognition. And I'm just throwing this out there. I think maybe it should be called the Janice Miller Citizens Academy, is what I think it should be called. It really is you, and I didn't do it because of what you said. I really did it because if it's going national, I would like it to have your name on it. And
Oh, thank you so much.
if that's okay with the council.
No, that's
I
a great
think-
idea.
I think that's
So honored.
so great. It's really a great thing. I went through it on year 2, and it's really neat. And since Janice's voice is gone, if you ever get a chance to go through the Citizens Academy, definitely do it. It's a learning experience for people that live here, to see what goes on in the city and what what your tax dollars go towards and how hard our citizens, our employees work. So,
And they have fun,
and
don't
to have fun and get fed too, right? Yeah, and get fed. So it is now, I guess, officially the Janice Miller Citizens Academy. Can we call it that?
I suppose.
Oh yeah, Relay for Life, next Wednesday. Also the Nielsen thing, don't forget about that. That's great, 10 years.
Same day, it's on the same day.
Same day,
Yeah.
yep. Different time, 3 to 5. And at Mongolian's Grill on Wednesday, 6 p.m., it's the city's Relay for Life team is raising money. I will be there. It just says I'm an MC, so I guess I don't have to cook. Is that correct, Ann?
I think he's a griller,
Oh,
isn't
you're a
he?
griller.
You are a griller.
It doesn't say guest griller, though. That's the good part. If you ever go there, I did this for 45 minutes or an hour, and then I went to pick up my water, and because you're using mussels, this happens with my weed eater, you're using mussels you never use. I picked up the water, and I couldn't even hold it because of the mussels that you're using. But that's 6 o'clock seating or 7:30 seating on Wednesday. Also, former Mayor Roniker called me just before the meeting, and he is heading up the Relay for Life team for Oldsmar, and it's actually now combined with the City of Safety Harbor, and this is called, what are you calling this thing Monday night?
Well, it's a reunion party.
Reunion party, because they are now merged back together, and I think collectively we'll do better with that. And that's at 6 p.m., and he's also looking at that time to get some volunteers. So 6 p.m. Monday at Tico Hall for the Relay for Life reunion party, and then Wednesday night, the Mongolian Grill. So
what's the date on the Tico thing?
the Tico is Monday, the 23rd at 6 p.m., and the grill is Wednesday, the 25th at 6 or 7:30. So hope to see you there. You can buy tickets in advance, or you can pay at the door. Is that correct?
Yeah, but if you can buy them in advance, it really helps us out a lot.
Yeah, so they
So we
kind of
know
know
the
what to
numbers.
expect. So God bless you. And with that sneeze, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. If nobody else has anything, I need a motion to approve the tentative agenda.
Tom, were you going to say something?
I was just going to grab you on the tentative agenda. That was it. Okay.
I'll second.
Second motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.